Hello and welcome everyone to Uncivil Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. As always, we hope you'll enjoy this legal education content, and today may be the day I earn your subscription. For today's story, we are covering the case of Donahue George versus the stock market. So Donahue George made some bad investments, and he lost some money. Quite a bit of money, as it turns out. So I guess, a fool and his money can soon be parted, no matter how wealthy that fool is. But Donahue George isn't going to take this as a life lesson. Oh no, he's going to sue everyone in sight because he lost money, and so it can't be his fault that he's an idiot. So let's sue everyone else in sight. Okay, let's give that a shot. So we're going to cover this lawsuit that was filed earlier this week on the 17th, and read this trash fire stupid, but it's a pro se, so I repeat myself. So let's get started with this. So this is Donahue George in the Southern District of Florida. It's a verified complaint, which means it's under oath. How exciting. And he wants a jury trial. We can give him a jury trial right now. I've got more than 12 people in the room. Let's see what we think. So it's Donahue George versus Ken Griffin, who's the CEO of Citadel, which is a huge hedge fund. And then Citadel proper in the forms of Citadel Securities Market Maker, Citadel Connect Dark Pool, Citadel LLC Hedge Fund, the SEC, suing the Security and Exchange Commission. Okay. The FNRD, TDCC, Robinhood, and Webull. Okay. All right. Let's give that a try. So what do we have to offer in our pro se lawsuit? Okay. So the basis of this jurisdiction is violation of my 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendments of the Constitution. How? 1983. Yeah, we have the same problem we do for A and B, except for the security, well, actually even including the Security Exchange Commission. 1983 doesn't apply because you need a state actor, in this case, state level, not federal. So 1983 isn't a thing because 1983 can't be a thing because there's no possible state, as in state level actor here. The SEC is not a state actor within the meaning of 1983. Because it's not an actor under the authority of a state. It's federal. And everyone else is private. Unless you can show state action. Good luck with that. Okay. The emerging controversy is over $75,000. And then RICO. Oh, okay. RICO. All right. So it's every Uncivil Law's favorite citation, every federal judge's favorite citation. It's RICO. It's RICO. Racketeering, influence, corrupt organization, the mob. Okay, yeah, no. $25 from Hellpike, FBI versus Brad Carter of Snowpipe Show. YouTube prank call. He said he got him for illegal access to a protected system. Not sure how you find the case. I'm leaving my request. I'll take a look up. And see if I can find it. But yeah, if he accessed a protected system, it's just a prank, bro. Isn't gonna really work. Yeah, not so much. Diversity of parties. Okay. And the Sherman Antitrust Act and Clayton Antitrust Act. And the Federal Trade Commission Act. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have to read much further to tell you that none of this is going to work, but we'll keep reading anyway. The defendant, Donahue George, upon information and belief, as and for his complaint against the defendant, says the following. Okay. This case arises out of the fact that the SEC and other government agencies have breached the contract they have with myself and other United States citizens. Uh, Even assuming that you can view it in terms of contract, how exactly did they do that? So, first of all, viewing it in terms of contract is one another problem. And then, even if you can, how did they violate the contract exactly? I'm sure we'll be informed. Okay. We pay them to protect our interests as retail investors and to ensure a fair and open market. Capital M, incidentally. So I guess the market is a proper noun. So, okay. And by accepting those payments, they contract to protect the integrity of the market. Okay, how do you pay them? How do you pay them? Do you mean through taxes? Okay, let's go through basic principles of Contract Law 101 just to remind everyone on basic principles. Okay. When you have a contract is when you have two parties and both parties are giving something to the other that they weren't required to at the start. So you're looking for something from both people they're not required to do or give, and then they do or give that thing to the other person, right? That's basic principles of contract. Okay, so taxes aren't that because you have to pay taxes. So it's not a contract. You don't have to use those services. In fact, the federal government could care less, and the federal government could cease those services. I mean, if the federal government really wanted to, tomorrow they could abolish the SEC. It's just an organization by statute. So, if all of Congress got together and decided, let's get rid of the SEC, and the president signs that bill, poof, the SEC ceases to exist. Just like that. So I'm not sure how you're making a contract claim when they can poof the thing out of existence that you're apparently contracting with. Not really sure I'm seeing a mutuality of obligation on this one. And also to the extent that you can view what you're paying as part of the contract, well, I suppose the contract would be defined by statute. So you could see how you wouldn't just be making, they're here to protect retail investors. How do you know that? Do you have some provision of the U.S. Code that you'd like to cite specifically in saying this is their mission? Some specific things in the code and, okay. $4.99 from Risk Disabled Writer. Since Aaron Schwartz never got to trial, I don't know how you could talk you into doing the case saying legally if he should have been convicted or not. Yeah, I don't know how you would do that because it never got to trial, like you said, right? So you're trying to, under the laws that exist today, he wouldn't. But in the laws that existed then, yeah, the law has changed. The law's changed since then. So it depends. Am I analyzing it under the law today or am I analyzing under the law that then existed? So those are different answers. But yeah, I'm not sure how you're going to breach a contract because you have to pay your taxes and the federal government can abolish the SEC. And even if you can view it as contract, it's defined by statute, which also Congress can change. And that you still have to point to some specific thing that somehow defines the SEC's mission in the way that you've said it's defined. You've just said that you pay them to protect our interests as retail investors. Where exactly are you getting that from? Your wishes and dreams? Why do you need to pay taxes? The answer to that is fairly simple. It's the tax code, man. Go read it. It's in the U.S. Code. There you go. That answers that question. It's the U.S. Code. Go read it. Tax code is available. You can go check it out yourself. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because it's not a fun read, but you do you. They breached the contract by turning a blind eye to the irregularities and illegal acts in the market and allowed this malfeasance to continue, costing Donahue George the loss of $1.7 million and other retail investors millions of dollars. Well, other retail investors, you can't sue for them because this isn't a class action and you have no standing as to other investors. And as for you, $1.7 million, really? And you don't have a basic fundamental understanding of how the stock market works? At $1.7 million, you don't understand the stonks? You think maybe the stonks are controlled by a demon or something, or maybe a demigod, and you, in order to please the stonks, you've done your rituals and your sacrificial offerings and your burnings and your you've done all those things. You've tried the self-whipping and everything, and nothing seems to be pleasing the demon. Maybe you should try to understand how it works better before investing what must be more than $1.7 million to lose. So $1.7 million isn't the total amount he invested, surely. So before you invest enough to lose $1.7 million, maybe you should have a better understanding of how the stock market works, which, on a fundamental level isn't actually that complicated. You could teach someone in elementary school about it fairly easily. It's not really fundamentally that hard, but okay. Even where the government agencies put on an appearance of finding these bad actors in our markets, the fine and punishments are so small that instead of acting as a deterrent, the fine and punishments actually embolden the bad actors to continue their bad behavior. Well, that sounds like a pretty good argument for a change in policy. The SEC is limited, as is every government agency, and thank God for that, and they should be more limited, as we all know from my detest of Chevron. But they're limited by the amount of power Congress gave them. And they said, well, this is the fine you can impose. This is the fine you can impose. So the SEC may not be able to fine them more than they're fining them, which is a pretty good argument for policy that, hey, maybe we need to take another look at those things to increase the sanctions or increase what the SEC can do to help bring real deterrence about. Maybe we should garnish a percentage of their profits, or maybe we could have forfeiture for all the illicit gains, like a civil asset forfeiture. I bet you if we did civil asset forfeiture against the hedge funds, they would have a real sharp difference about the civil asset forfeiture. There's a real good way to get civil asset forfeiture changed. You want civil asset forfeiture to be changed? No problem. Just change the statute so the SEC can civil asset forfeiture all illicit gains from all stock market transactions, and see how fast the hedge funds and the corporations say, we really should get rid of that civil asset forfeiture. Not really a good idea for America. So, you could do that. And you could do the rest of the United States a solid by indirectly getting rid of civil asset forfeiture. But hey, we'll take whatever we can get, right? Robinhood, Webull, along with Ken Griffith's Citadel, Citadel Connect, Citadel Securities, SEC, FNRD, and TDCC have created an enterprise. What? They've created a collective enterprise? What? And conspired, capital C. So, again, it's a noun. Instead of and participated in conduct that manipulated the capital M market and controlled the price of stocks to the deterrent of myself and other retail investors. This is just all kinds of dumb. This is all kinds of dumb. Okay, first of all, several of these things individually are in fact enterprises. Robinhood is an enterprise, and Webull is an enterprise, and Citadel is an enterprise, and the SEC is not an enterprise within the meaning of the law, incidentally. So there's a lot of separate enterprises here. Have they conspired? Yeah, but here's the problem. It's only bad to conspire if the conspiracy is for an illegal thing. You can conspire for legal things. You do it literally every single day. You do it literally every single day. You go to the restaurant and you say, I want food. And now with the waiter, you have entered a conspiracy because you have mutuality of agreement. And the waiter will bring you the food. So you have a substantial step In the conspiracy, you have mutuality of agreement and one of the conspirators performing relevant to the conspiracy. However, it's legal. So, yeah. You call up your best girl and you say, how would you like to go to the restaurant? 7:00. She says, great. Mutuality of agreement. You and your best girl are now in a conspiracy. You drive to the restaurant. You enter the doors. A substantial step in furtherance of the conspiracy. But, eating at 7:00 is legal. So is Robin Hood and Webull and Citadel and the SEC and all these people in a conspiracy? Yeah, but the conspiracy would be of the nature of buying and selling stocks. We buy, you sell, we buy, and so forth and so on. And the SEC is, the mastermind behind this whole grand scheme, which is legal. It's in the U.S. code that I alluded to earlier about the tax question. You could go look up that one early. You could go look up that and find all about the legality of, the stock market and the SEC and the conspiracy to buy and sell stocks. Ooh. Okay. Stella, that's a very nice comment. I appreciate the comment. The defendant's pattern of behavior of allowing market manipulation or participating in the market manipulation. I love the random use of capitalization. So market manipulation is now also a proper noun. So market manipulation is a person, place, or thing. So can I go visit the market manipulation? Where does it live? Can I touch it? Where can I go touch it? Maybe it's behind glass, like the Declaration of Independence. Is the market manipulation also behind glass? Can I see it somewhere? Can I take pictures of it? Do they sell keepsakes? Do they sell keepsakes of the market manipulation? Maybe I could have a little model of the market manipulation on my desk. A replica of some kind. That could be fun. Does Etsy make market manipulation things? Is it a thing on Etsy that I can buy? This proper noun, market manipulation. Yeah, okay, great. It's an ongoing and continuous violation of United States antitrust laws. Okay, okay. First of all, you have a whole bunch of participants in this, so it's a little bit difficult, although not, I guess, strictly speaking, impossible for it to be an antitrust. We have seen things like that before, where, you have a whole bunch of, the classic is supermarkets for some reason. They seem to get busted around this, or gas stations also seem to get busted around this, where you have a lot of independent gas stations or a lot of independent, what was I saying? Grocery stores? Yeah. Who basically conspire to fix prices. So it has been known to happen. Not necessarily in recent memory, but it has been a thing. But yeah, you think they're involved in an antitrust conspiracy because they're conspiring to fix the price. How? They're all trading a common good that is common with a whole bunch of other players, including some fairly big players that you did not name. Why isn't Vanguard in this? Why not just get Vanguard in it while we're in it too? They're by far and away the biggest holder of private securities. So why not get Vanguard in here while we're at it? How are they in a mutual conspiracy to fix the price? By agreeing on a price for buying and selling things? Isn't that just a market? The defendants established a private capital D dark pool in order to manipulate the prices of securities and derivatives. The defense agents and government agencies' inaction was direct cause of my monetary loss. Well, okay, let's go back to basic principles of law 101 again. Inaction is not typically a basis to sue. It's possible, but it's rare. The easiest way, and pretty much only way as a practical matter, to show inaction is to show they had a duty to act. So they are fiduciary of you, for example. So, if you hire me as an attorney to do stuff and I don't do stuff, that would be bad because I have a duty to act because you've hired me. Incidentally, this isn't just for an attorney. It would also apply to your local subway, right? Assuming you pay them in advance, right? Assuming you pay them in advance, or a gas station where you pay them in advance because you don't have a credit card. So you go into the gas station and you give them $20. They now have a duty to act. They have to give you $20 worth of gas or your money back, one of the two. So they can't just by inaction say, well, we're not going to do anything to help you with it. You get your own gas. No, not so much. That's not part of the exchange. They can make you pump it, but you don't have to, drag it yourself out of a well or something. So show a duty to act. Why do any of these people have a duty to act towards you? Were you a customer of theirs in some way? If so, and you can show like a breach of contract as to those companies, that might be helpful, right? So if you were a customer of Robinhood or Capital or whatever, and you can show a breach of fiduciary duty or a breach of contract or something, that'd be great. Show me the contracts. Show what they failed to do as fiduciaries. The SEC, by the way, is none of these things. I'm just going to tell you flat out. And even if they did have a duty, it's not to you in particular. You can't sue the SEC for failure to protect specifically you. It's a little bit like the police, which we've covered many, many times. The police have a duty to protect and serve, but not to protect and serve you. So even assuming the SEC has a duty, it's not to you. So you can't sue them. So no. Unless you can show some much more specific thing that, but as just a general player in the stock market, no, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Citadel Connect acts as a private capital D dark pool. Okay, so, all right, so query friends, in the second sentence from the top on this page, as you can see it right now, we have capital D lower P dark pool. So only the D is capitalized. Then we have capital D, capital P. So are these two distinct things? Because in the first one, the pool was not capitalized. So it's not a proper noun. So the capital D dark, whatever that is, I'd say is describing, but that's actually impossible because that would make it an adjective if it were describing it. But it's not an adjective because it's a proper noun. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Anyways, the proper noun is nonetheless describing pool. And then we have capital D, capital P pool. Is that a different thing? Is capital D, capital P dark pool a different thing that I can touch and, see and get miniatures of and, okay, all that stuff, it's great. Yeah. And while the SEC has strict regulations regarding dark pool, a third spelling. Okay, so if I do love the fact that we could technically defeat his own complaint just based on the spelling alone. That's hilarious. This is a new level. This is a new level of defeating someone's complaint. We've reached an entirely new level. I didn't think it was 100% possible. We're used to reading complaints and defeating them within their own terms, right? Because there's logical fails or there's things that don't quite square up or pieces that don't quite fit, or we can see weaknesses, right? So we're definitely used to seeing complaints in various stages, and we're used to being able to see errors or see problems or even defeat portions within their own frame, right? So we can use parts of it to defeat themselves. But this is an entirely new level because we're using the spelling of things to defeat his claim. Because the SEC has strict regulations regarding the lowercase d, lowercase p dark pool, which is necessarily distinct from the capital D dark pool, because proper noun, and also necessarily distinct from capital D, capital P dark pool. So the SEC's regulations on the non-proper nouns dark pools can have absolutely nothing by its own spelling logic to these other two things, which I have no idea what they are, but it isn't the dark pool that the SEC has regulations on. We have defeated a complaint using spelling. This is new. This is fun. I'm liking this a lot. Citadel Connect has been given free reign by SEC, FNRA, and DTCC to operate outside the law to the detriment of Donahue, George, and other retail investors. If you can show that they literally operated outside the law, Congress would love to hear about it. They have oversight hearings, so you could tell Congress, and, you might be able to tell the Department of Justice and things like that. But what law exactly did they violate? Which sections? Which regulations? Okay. It's in the public domain. It's in that pesky public domain. The defendants have committed substantive RICO, only the R is capitalized. Oh no, wait, it's worse than that. It's capital R, capital V. So, first of all, RICO is only the R is capitalized for some reason. So I guess capital R, lowercase eco is different from all caps RICO. So I'm not sure what the uppercase R, lowercase eco is. And I'm also not sure what uppercase R, lowercase eco, uppercase V violations is. Another proper noun. Does anyone know where I can find the RICO violations? Since it's a person, place, or thing, presumably we could, find it and destroy it or take it apart or occupy it or something. Is it in Afghanistan? I don't know. Where can we find it? Okay. Pursuant to 18 U.S.C. Section 1962. Resulting in plaintiff Donahue George losing money and the capital I injury occurred because of the defendant's substantive RICO, which he now spells with all caps, violations. The defendants committed counterfeiting. What did they counterfeit? Are you saying they counterfeited actual stock certificates? That'd be impressive. If you want to see. What did they counterfeit exactly? And wire fraud. By counterfeiting and selling fake shares. Well, this is one hell of an allegation. This sounds like one great whistleblower complaint to me. I mean, if Capital and Robinhood and these other players were really creating fake shares, synthetic fake shares, well, that would be a problem. That would be very, 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 very illegal. Very illegal. Very illegal. So, if you could somehow show some evidence of that, of the fake shares, and show how they're fake or something, you could do this incidentally through internal documents. The amount of stuff people put in email will never end to surprise me. So, assuming that this happened, which, no, but assuming it did, would there be internal emails inside Capital, inside of the Robinhood, or inside of the Capital Group or whatever? Yeah, probably. Or would someone posted a Facebook message or a tweet or made a Facebook post about it or texted someone or had a WhatsApp group? Probably. The amount of stuff that people are willing to put in writing will never end to surprise me. So if you can show some internal emails, Facebook posts, message boards, tweets, WhatsApp groups, whatever, from wherever, and showing that they create these fake synthetic shares, well, a lot of people would really like to hear about it. You might just be starting to pull at the thread that will cause a complete uproar in our markets if you could show literally any of that. So how do you know they're fake? Okay, let's press on. I don't think we're going to get the mind-blowing conspiracy that will shake the entire financial world, not only U.S., incidentally, but internationally. I don't think we're going to get that today. Into a market they knew did not exist. Presumably, we're still referring to the shares, although it's ambiguous what new referred to. See, because the way this is phrased, usually you go to the immediate prior. So you're saying they sold fake synthetic shares into the market they knew did not exist. So what did they knew did not exist? The way this is written, technically, what you're saying they did not know existed is the market itself. So in this situation, they're selling fake shares into a non-existent market, which is even more mind-blowing. First of all, I'm not sure it's possible to have fake shares in a non-existent market. Second of all, if they can do that on just a purely practical level, I'd like to know how. How are they selling shares into the market that doesn't exist? I mean, that's literally what it says. Just, okay. And then sending electronic wire to plaintiff alleging they wired the stocks and derivatives through Webull and Robinhood. Why is one of the largest hedge funds in the world wiring stocks and derivatives through Robinhood? Why is one of the largest hedge funds in the world wiring stocks and derivatives through Robinhood? When in reality they wired nothing. I'm confused again. All right, because the only thing that you allege that they wired, because let's just read what's actually written as we torture our minds. You said they sent electronic wire to the plaintiffs, alleging they wired the stocks and derivatives. How do you wire stocks? Okay, never move on. The abusive shorting are not, that should be is not, by the way, the random act of renegade hedge funds and market makers, with the SEC and DTCC turning a blind eye. My understanding is the shorting that was done was legal. So, again, this might be a note more for Congress on a policy level. Maybe you think that they shouldn't be able to short to this degree, which, it's a perfectly plausible position. I would suggest in this particular case, it's not a particularly well-informed position. But, a well-informed person, I suppose, could have the view that, the shorting is improper. Maybe you shouldn't be able to short above 100%. Maybe you shouldn't be able to, I don't know. But, okay. That's more for Congress. So, not the random act with the SEC turning a blind eye to the apparently legal activity, but rather a coordinated business plan there is carried out by a collusive consortium and enterprise of hedge fund, prime brokers, and capital M market makers under the closed eyes of the government agencies that we're paying to protect our interests. Nope, hell nope says naked shorts are in essence synthetic shares. Well, to the extent they are, my understanding is that they're legal. So, I mean, either they're legal or not, right? So, either they're not legal, in which case, yeah, but my understanding is it's legal to do this naked short thing. Maybe it shouldn't be legal, but once again, that's more an issue for Congress or even the SEC, who might be able to do this through regulatory authority, but it's not really an issue for the court. Yeah. The predicate acts of all the defendants were continuous and interrelated. Okay. The defendants participated in conduct that was interrelated. I know, you just told me that. Thank you for, The action of the defense created an enterprise. That's not really how RICO works, by the way. RICO isn't where you create an enterprise. RICO is where you corrupt an existing enterprise. So... Okay. Because they all benefited from their illegal activity. If you could demonstrate it's illegal, that would be really helpful. Why is this illegal? You have yet to clarify why. Defendants have established a pattern of behavior over the past years in furtherance of the manipulation and illegal activities. What? Defendant action and government agencies' inactions are the direct reason for Donahue George loss. You missed the possessive on that one, by the way. The actions of the defendant, Ken Griffin, who is the CEO of Citadel LLC, Citadel Securities, and Citadel Connect, are direct violations of the Sherman Antitrust Act. How? The Clayton Act. How? The Federal Trade Commission Act. How? How are they violations of those things? How are they engaging in anti-competitive behavior? How are they inhibiting other people from participating in the market? How are they doing that? Have they price fixed? What exactly do you think they're doing? Okay. Breach of contract. The elements for breach of contract require the existence of a contract. We're going to fail in step 1, by the way. Performance by the plaintiff. Failure to perform on the contract and resulting damages. Well, depends what state you're in, incidentally, because it can be worded slightly different. But yeah, you need to have mutuality of agreement, and then one side breaches. So depending on what state you are, the breaches by the other side may or may not be material. So that might be a problem or not. But yeah, you have to have a contract, and the defendant has to have breached, and depending on where you are, maybe the plaintiff has to perform, and some sort of damage that would be helpful. But we're going to have a problem on step 1. Yeah. Rakita says, your slander of the litigant should be illegal. Well, as I'll remind Nick, slander only applies to false statements of fact. So all I know of the defendant I've gotten from his own complaints. So, but I'm happy you're here, Nick. I'm always happy you're here. Okay, the SEC and the DTCC have a contract with the American people. You know right away you're in trouble. To ensure an open and fair market. Okay, well, since they have a contract, why don't you point to the provision of the contract that says that? Normally that's how that works, by the way. You would say, hey, they have this obligation. Here is the language from the contract that says that obligation. What language do you think that they're violating? Which part of the contract is it exactly? And it's with the American people. Who signed it on behalf of the American people? Also, if it's due to the American people in general, you don't have standing. This is like taxpayer standing. This has been rejected by the Supreme Court many, many times. No. You have to show something a little bit more specific than that. Nick gives me $20. First of all, Nick, we have to have a discussion, you and I, on phone or text about the defamatory things you said against me last night. And my friends, there were defamatory things said about me. And as we've just been discussing, defamation is false statements of fact. And I regret to inform you that my friend, Nick Rikita, made several false statements of fact against me regarding my success in our drinking stream and whether or not I bested him. He made several false statements of facts suggesting that I did not win when I clearly won in every possible sense. And false statements were made against me and has hurt my reputation in the relevant communities. So we have to have a talk. $20 from Nick says, I'm going to sue you pro se over your defamation. Well, I'm countersuing you for the defamation, Nick. For the false statements of fact communicated to a third party on your stream, thousands of people. My reputation's been besmirched. Wow. The relevant communities. Yes, absolutely. The plaintiff performed that's the wrong by the way, by paying the SEC. No, you didn't. And the DTC their salary. So you're going for taxpayer standing. No. $5 from Ricardo Ospania. Man, this is great comedy, funny stuff. Thanks for taking my mind off real life. And Jack says, I almost died, but I didn't though. So, yeah. Yeah. I was actually better off the next morning than you would imagine. So, anyways. Turning a blind eye to all the illegal activities of the capital H hedge fund, capital M market, capital M makers, and the capital D dark, capital P pools, and when acting like they were fulfilling their obligations under the contract by punishing the bad actor, they only find the bad actors a small amount compared to the profits the bad actors receive from their bad behavior. $100. $100 from Rikita saying, I retract what my drunk ass said. You 100% won. I was in the chat correcting you as it was happening, but I appreciate the retraction. Mitigation of damages, my friend. Mitigations of damages by retracting. So, yeah, I don't know what you were thinking, because I was conscious enough through the stream, by the way, where I was remembering at the very end of the stream where things were beginning to turn a little bit, what shall we say? They were turning distorted, and reality was beginning to warp slightly. I do remember specifically you saying in a somewhat exasperated, panicky, somewhat pleading voice, something to the line of, you've already won, Please stop drinking. You've already won. I said that. I said you won several times like an hour ago. Am I getting this paraphrase roughly right? I already said that you won several times. You've won. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You've won for all of time. Seem to vaguely remember some. I'm remembering that through a completely, what shall we say, impaired hue. And I still believe I'm paraphrasing relatively correctly. So, yeah. So even through my hue, I remember what you said, and then when you're drunk, you don't remember what you said. But that's okay. I'm here to correct you. You're still my friend, Nick. I love you very much. Anytime you want to appear on my show, by the way, anytime you have something you want to talk about, you should come on my show. You've invited me on your show several times. And if there's something in the news you want to talk about, I'd love to talk about it with you. So, hey, you're always welcome on my channel. You know that. In fact, if you want right now, I'll set up a stream on OBS and you can apologize to my face. That'd be hilarious. Nick all caps says, I thought you were going to die. You still said what you said. You still said what you said, my friend. Oh, man. By punishing the bad actor, they only fine the bad actors a small amount compared to the profit the bad actors receive from their bad behavior, which may be within the SEC's limits. These minuscule fines, instead of deterring bad behavior, encourage the bad behavior, and bad actors just look at the petty fines as a cost of doing business. Okay, first we need to talk about sentence construction, and you may very well be right. That sounds more like a policy issue, though, for Congress, Yeah, I can't talk, but we have some topics. Great, look forward to it. The defense failed to perform was direct result of plaintiff Donahue's Georgia's monetary loss. RICO violations. Okay, this should be real good. This should be good. Nah, Nick, you're fine. You don't have to run. You're always fine in the chat. You're always welcome in my chat anytime. Anytime. In order to establish the RICO violation, 4 basic elements must be proven. A pattern of racketeering activity, specifically 2 or more acts of racketeering within the last 10 years, if you want to be precise. A culpable person with the requisite mens rea. Well, you need more than one because conspiracy. An enterprise, and an effect on interstate commerce, which is, of course, a gimme because Wickard. How additional elements may be necessary depending on the nature of the claim for civil liability. Not for nothing, but most courts have special rules for RICO if you want to plead RICO because they hate them so much. So they make you do more to deter you because they're garbage. So you can look forward to some specific instruction from the court, I would gather, in the near future. To prevail on a civil RICO claim, a plaintiff must identify a culpable person who actually committed the RICO violation. Well, 2 of them, because again, that's in the statute. Or conspire to do so. Yeah. However, in a RICO, the culpable person can be an individual or entity culpable of holding an interest. That's true. You are correct, sir. This is part of corporate personhood. A corporation can be part of the RICO conspiracy. Correct. The plaintiff must also be able to demonstrate the culpable person possessed the mental state required to commit the alleged predicate offense, which isn't really that hard. But yeah. In other words, it must be shown defendant intended to, well, intent might not be the right word depending on the predicate act, but whatever, intended to commit the predicate acts despite having the knowledge that those acts were illegal. Oh no, that is just completely wrong. That is so very wrong. In other words, it must be shown the defendant intended to commit predicate acts despite having the knowledge that those acts were illegal. Now, my friends, he apparently thinks that they need to know that what they're doing is illegal. My friends, is specific knowledge of the law or specific knowledge that what you're doing is illegal required in like 99.999% of situations, incidentally, this would be one of those, is specific knowledge of the law or specific knowledge you're breaking the law required. I seem to vaguely recall something along the lines of ignorance of the law is no excuse, but apparently I've been wrong. Apparently you need to show specifically they acknowledge the acts were illegal. So you have basically upped your burden of proof massively. That's genius. That's just great. The SEC, Ken Griffin, Citadel. Again, can we get some commas in here? Because these are distinct entities. Can we get my kingdom for a comma? The SEC, the DTCC, the FR. You know what? Fuck it. He doesn't put in commas. I'm not putting in commas because we've already held him to the not doing the grammar thing. So fuck it. This is apparently one thing now. Okay. So in this sentence, there are only two things. Okay. There are only two things. One of the things is Weeble. The other things is the SEC, DTCC, FNRA, Ken Griffin, Citadel Connect, Citadel Securities, Citadel, LLC, Robinhood. So I don't know where you find or where you can locate the SEC, DTCC, FNRA, Ken Griffin, Citadel Connect, Citadel Securities, Citadel, LLC, Robinhood. But whoever or whatever that is, they may have a legal problem. Are individuals under the definition established by RICO? Your grammar OCD is not okay. Established by the RICO statute and possess that capital M, capital S state. I don't know what proper noun mental state is. Required to commit the predicate offenses alleged in this complaint. The defendants committed these acts despite having complete knowledge that their actions were illegal, which is totally required, and contrary to multiple federal laws and statutes. Under RICO, any legal entity, individual, group, or associate individuals may be considered an enterprise. Informal associations or associations in fact enterprises may be considered enterprises. You don't need a comma there. Maybe you could take those two commas, and put them up somewhere. May still be considered enterprises if it can be shown the individuals involved work together in furtherance of a common illegal interest, like buying and selling stocks. Additionally, the enterprise must be a distinct and separate entity from the established culpable individual. That is 100% true. That is 100% true. And a mistake that, first of all, the fact that this pro se knows this, I mean, the rest of this complaint is garbage, but as always, we will find anything that's good, right? So we might disagree with a person, we might disagree with their complaint, we might ridicule the shit out of it, right? But as always, we strive on uncivil law to give credit where credit is due. So credit where credit is due. The pro se has stated a correct proposition of law. In fact, a correct proposition of law that is often the trip for many pro ses in a RICO. Right? The individual can't be the enterprise. They have to be distinct things. So they will say things like, you'll see things, and I'm just pulling one out of the ass, so I'm not trying to indicate anything. Like Ford is the corrupt enterprise. And then they'll say, Ford did this, Ford did that. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. The enterprise has to be independent, or it has to be distinct, not necessarily independent, but it has to be distinct from the individual doing it, right? So he has stated a correct proposition of law and a correct proposition of law that many, many pro ses miss. So in this absolute trash fire of a complaint, plus one to the pro se plaintiff who got a somewhat obscure point of law right. So, hey, credit where credit is due, my friend. You got one. The combined entity, or not necessarily the combined entity, I apologize, but the entity known as the SEC, DTCC, FNRA, Ken Griffin Citadel, Connect Citadel Security. Okay, let me see if I can do this in one breath because it is a singular thing. And I shouldn't have to interrupt myself. Okay, we can do this. SEC, DTCC, FNRA, Ken Griffin Citadel, Connect Citadel Securities, Citadel, LLC, Robinhood, and Webull are distinct and separate individuals and work together to manipulate the price of AMC and GEM shares to benefit themselves at the detriment of myself and other retail investors nationally and internationally. Yeah, we're going to have to give it an acronym for shortening. So this new group will be known as the SDFKGCCCSCLR. Rolls right off the tongue. Predicate acts are independently illegal. Racketeering activities. Unnecessary comma. And yes. Under RICO, certain specifically enumerated federal crimes and certain state offenses are prohibited and deemed predicate acts necessary to state a claim. The list of prohibited activities is very, very long. But yeah, this sounds right. Wire, mail fraud, money laundering, counterfeiting, embezzling, illegal gambling, extortion, bribery. Those all sound right. It's longer. It goes on for a while. There's a lot of stuff that could qualify for RICO. The defendants committed wire fraud by electronically sending fake counterfeit shares they knew did not exist, and we've changed, incidentally, what they knew did not exist, because as we mentioned earlier, the way it was phrased, strictly speaking, by the rules of English grammar, what they knew didn't exist was the market itself, so we've changed it now to the shares. They knew did not exist through my Webull and Robinhood account electronically. They sent these fake shares specifically through your account? Do you have records of those? Defendant committed counterfeiting by fabricating and counterfeiting. That's just genius work. The defendant committed counterfeiting by counterfeiting. Well, I'm sold. The defendant committed counterfeiting by fabricating and counterfeiting fake synthetic shares and selling them into the market and shorting them into the market, even though they were selling fake naked shorts was illegal and banned since 2008. Well, if that's true, which law made it illegal? Which law made it illegal? Would you like to cite it? If it's illegal, the defendants, Citadel LLC, Citadel Connect, Citadel Securities, which incidentally is yet a different group. So this is the DCLCCCS, along with Robinhood and Webull. So now Robinhood is an independent. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Conspired to hold our buy orders. Okay. Well, yeah. You have a point here against Robinhood with it holding the orders or not allowing you to buy thing. But you could get, yeah. Hold our buy orders in order to buy in front of me in order to gain distinct legal advantage. You might be able to have the claim there against Robinhood. I don't know how any of those cases are progressing against Robinhood. But there's something to be there. There's probably a class action ongoing, if I had to bet. Citadel was fined $700,000 in the past for this illegal activity, but that fine was not significant enough to stop that bad behavior. They routed buy orders through the dark pool. Is the dark pool like the dark web? They routed it through? Is it like the dark web? Can I go? I can go onto the dark web? Can I go onto the dark pool? Is it, or is it? Is it instead of dark web, are they literally pools? Like swimming pools, but dark ones. Off the grid. Hidden swimming pools. Ooh. So like I could go onto the dark web. I can go to the dark pools by sleuthing around and finding out where these pools are hidden, and then I can go swim in them, the dark pools. Is that how that works? And flooded, that's a nice touch, flooded from pool. Yeah. Flooded the regular market with sell orders and it manipulate the price of AMC and GME. The capital D dark pool volume for AMC and GME is over 60%. There should be a colon here. No other stock has that type of dark capital D, capital P volume. Yeah, for all the OCD grammar people, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. This is not going well for you guys. They coordinated capital L ladder attacks to control and manipulate the price of AMC and GME stock buying and selling shares between them at no hyphen determined. So those are two separate words, I guess. Determined. In order to bring down the stock, the defendant's capital M manipulation of the AMC stock in the dark pool resulted in losses to plaintiff Donahue George. I'm sorry for the bot timing you out for the all caps on that one. I'm going to pin your comment because it's hilarious. I wish I could overrule the bot and undelete it, but I can't. The bot has more power than me. Even though naked shorts have been illegal since 2008, and I'm sure you're going to quote the relevant law at any time now, the defendants continue to fabricate naked shorts of AMC and GME to flood the markets with naked shorts in order to manipulate the stock price. Until a correct and accurate share count is done, we will not know how many counterfeit shares are being traded. There are probably capital B billions, which are different than lowercase billions, of fake synthetic shares of AMC and GME flooding the market. The SAY technology website showed that 1% of retail investors own 10% of shares. That suggests billions of fake shares being traded in the market. How? How does that suggest that on its own terms? So there's a website, which, is totally true, but we're going to assume it is. This website shows that 1% of investors own 10% of shares. Is that surprising? First of all, it doesn't seem very surprising inherently, because it sounds like it's kind of approaching a Pareto distribution. The 80-20 rule kind of thing. So the top 20% hold 80%. So, the top 1% hold 10%. Plausible. Very plausible. Second of all, why does that imply, why does that in and of itself suggest that there are a billion of fake shares? 1% of people can own 1% of stuff, or 10% of stuff, or 50% of stuff, or 100% of stuff. I am one person. I own 100% of this microphone. You guys don't own any of this microphone. Thus, that proves this microphone is fake. The defendants abused the failure to deliver system, FTD, which also delivers flowers, to further manipulate the market. The defendant never covered the capital F failure to capital D delivers. Instead, they just moved the capital D debt from bank to bank to give the appearance of covering, further manipulating the market and putting the entire United States economic system at risk. In February of 2021, they were fined again a mere $10,000 for failing to deliver shares again during the GME squeeze. How can fines like that deter bad behavior? I assume this is a rhetorical question, but Don't read a lot of complaints or that have questions in them. Lauren said, did this lawyer? Oh, my friend. Lauren, the title. The title, Lauren. The title. The title of the stream. The defendants are also using round lot and odd lot algorithmic trading to further manipulate the market. Would you like to tell us what that is? The court doesn't know. The court doesn't know what those things are. You don't want to... Okay. They set up an algorithmic system in order to keep the price down by not counting shares below the block amount of 100 shares, the same block of shares brought in 100 share blocks. I'm not sure what that means. The dentalist gives us $5. Thank you. Why are the craziest the one that file suits and make the rest of us that think something happened look stupid? Don't know. Don't know. Stella with Rokita jokes. Always just happen here. Oh, Stella. Stella, I wish you were in Texas right now, because I'll tell you what, man. I wish any of you were in Texas right now, because I'll tell you what, my friends, after this I need a drink. I need several drinks. And we need to go. I need to go out to a bar, and I need to have several drinks and someone next to me who understands my woes. Anyone want to go get some shots? Okay, let's press on. Defendants also utilize the short exempt rule to further manipulate the market. So you're saying there's an exemption in the case of shorts. I think I just had something happen in my brain. I'm not 100% sure what it is. But I got like a wave of euphoria. No, euphoria is the wrong word. I got the sudden wave. My brain. Let me just make sure I'm not... Okay. I can still put up both hands. So I haven't had a stroke. But wow. I'm serious. I'm not even doing this for comedic effect. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know if maybe like I was stressing too hard and my brain like released it or something, but serious. But I can still raise both hands, and okay. So I'm going to go with not a stroke. But wow. All right, let's press on. Wow. Is there a hidden message in all the unnecessary capital letters? You know, my friend, if that turns out to be, I'm not going to do that, but I will leave that as an exercise to the reader. If it turns out that all the capital letters together and maybe unscrambled turns out to be some secret message, I'll have to take at least some of this back and say the defendant is genius. But that I'm going to leave as an exercise to the reader because I don't think my brain can take it right now. No body at the moment? Well, that makes it a real problem. The short exempt rule is unregulated and works on the R system. So you're saying they were following the rules. It puts the burden on the hedge fund to report any violation of the short exempt rule. What is an exempt? Okay. Whenever a stock goes down by more than 10% in a day, the next day, hedge funds are not allowed to short the stock at a lower price. But the short exempt rules allows the hedge funds to ignore the uptick rule, which I don't know what that is. What is the uptick rule? Okay. I mean, you have to educate the court, and you also, I mean, stocks are not my primary field. So imagine me as the poor federal judge, right? You have to educate the judge because they have a general knowledge of law, but they don't know every law intimately. So you have to educate the judge a little bit. You have to explain it so it all makes sense. I don't want an answer right now. I'm just saying, what is the uptick rule? What is the short example? Okay, I do. They utilize the short exempt rule in order to ignore the uptick rule to further manipulate the price action. It will take pages. It doesn't need to be an incredibly deep discussion. Explain it explain it to like a 5-year-old. Anything. Just give them an idea of what it is, so we have some idea of what we're talking about. 2 and 3 sentences would be fine. You don't have to go into laborious explanation. Just explain it in 2 or 3 sentences, a paragraph. I'm sure you can do it if you really try. They utilize bots and pay shills, which are people, that are paid to enter social media rooms and spread lies and capital F, capital U, capital D, which stands for FUD, and now we're going to explain explicitly, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in order to get retail investors to buy or sell stocks. Defendant Citadel has paid Janet Yellen $7 million in speaking fees. Okay. Same defendant has donated $68 million to government funds. Like, what are those? And don't name mind to all the individuals who voted against the Investment Security Act. Creating a conflict of interest that can't be ignored. My God. Okay. I may puke. I think that's what's going to happen. I think I may puke. Generally, RICO prohibits 4 different types of activities. Investment of racketeering income into an enterprise, acquisition or control of an enterprise due to a pattern of racketeering, operation of an enterprise, and RICO conspiracy. Stop yelling. Who's yelling? Is it me? Okay. Okay. Of the 4 activities, plaintiff in a civil RICO action most commonly rely on 18 U.S.C. 1962, conducting the affairs of an enterprise through a common pattern of racketeering. How many pages more do I have? I'm on 12 of 15. This is the longest 15 pages of my life. I'm telling you that right now. This may be the longest 15 pages of my life. Wow. Defendant's actions violated RICO by racketeering activities, a RICO enterprise, and a RICO conspiracy. I assume that was a sentence that said something. Defendant Citadel Connect, Citadel Securities, and Citadel LLC. Well, I don't think you have to go very far. I don't think you have to go very far to connect the defendant's Citadel with Citadel Securities and Citadel LLC. I'm feeling like you can make that connection kind of easily. Along with Robinhood and Webull, conspire to move investor shares of AMC and GME through the dark pools, which might be located on the dark side of the moon. This is even a better joke. Are the dark pools like the Sea of Tranquility? Is that one of the dark pools? The Sea of Tranquility? Hold on. I need a map. I need a map to make this joke work. I need a map. Give me a map, damn it. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Oh, no. I don't need the near side of the moon. I need the other side of the moon. Can I get, are there other ones on the other side of the moon? Are there no seas on the dark side of the moon? If so, this is some bullshit. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't have a face? Aw, that's lame. I thought we were gonna solve the mystery of the dark pools. I thought we were gonna solve the mystery of the dark pools. That they were located on the dark side of the moon. And that's where they were. Oh, I was so hopeful. But it turns out the dark side of the moon doesn't have any surface features. So, I was so hopeful. So the Sea of Tranquility, which is on the light side of the moon, it can't be one of the dark pools. I thought we were so close. Damn it. I thought we had solved it. Lame. So lame. Yeah, I need a map to make this joke work. I knew the Sea of Tranquility was on the light side of the moon, so I knew the joke didn't quite work. So I was like, oh, I need a map so I can use the right sea names for the dark side. But then it turns out there are no seas on the dark side, so the entire joke fell apart. Very lame. Very lame. We have to consult. There's only one thing left for it. We have to consult Pink Floyd and see if they can help. Can we get Pink Floyd in here as a party or something? Maybe they can explain the dark pools. Antitrust. Antitrust laws are statutes developed by governments to protect consumers from predatory business practices and ensure fair competition. Not exactly predatory, but the actions of these groups violate antitrust. Under Section 2 of the Antitrust, a monopoly exists when an actor possesses monopoly power in the relevant market and the willful acquisition or maintenance of that power, as distinguished from growth or development of a superior product, business acumen, or historical accident. Through unfair means, incidentally. If anyone here, through drug hallucination or otherwise, figures out where the dark pool is, please leave a comment in the YouTube so we can find out. So if the psychedelics tell you where the dark pool is, please share in the YouTube comments. We do not encourage the use of psychedelics on this channel, but if you're going to do it anyway, even though we discourage it, please share what you learn about the dark pools. Yeah. Ken Griffin is in possession of monopoly power over the stock market because of his ownership of the capital H, capital F hedge fund, the capital M market, capital M maker, and unregulated capital D, capital P pool. He has monopoly power over the stock market. No one else but Ken Griffin. Defendants Ken Griffin, Citadel LLC, the hedge fund, and the Citadel Securities, the market maker, along with Citadel Connect, the unregistered dark pool. I think I've lost it. I think I might have gone insane. I think I might have lost my sanity. Oh my. You know. Cue Joker origin story. Cue Cue Joker origin story. I have become comfortably lonely. The company that is shorting AMC and GME stock is also the company directing the orders with the option to divert and hold orders on its unregistered dark pool and fill the orders. They utilize this monopoly to control the price of any stock they have set their sights on. I wonder if federal judges trade cases. I'm sure they do. You know, I'm just thinking in my future career as a federal judge, if I get this case, I wonder if I can trade it. You know, I'll take 3 murder cases for this, or I'll take a patent case, and I'll take if you take this thing. Do federal judge trade? Is there a? I wonder if there's a exchange at the water cooler in the federal courthouses. I wonder if they have stocks with prices, like, and they keep track of them. Like, you know, this would be the equivalent of a prison black market, right? I'll give you 2 cigarettes for some dental floss or something. So I wonder if federal judges also have their black market. I'll give you a pro se for 3 patent cases or something. I wonder what the exchange rate is at the local federal courthouse. Wonder if I can get in on a derivative action on that thing, man. Would I trade this for a family law case? Ooh, that's tough. Well, first of all, this is federal court, so I don't have that problem. But assuming that I could, would I trade it for a family law? That's tough. Would I trade this for a family law case? Ooh. I'm going to have to say no. Which, wow. Says something about family law, doesn't it? Yeah. Says something about family law. They utilize this monopoly to control the price of any stock they've set their sights on. All these companies are owned by Ken Griffin. This is unfair monopoly that would not be accepted in any other industry is ripe for abuse and illegal activity. If that's true, you're going to want to talk to not so much the SEC, but you're going to want to talk to the Antitrust Division of DOJ. I'm sure that they have. I'm sure that they would love to hear your thoughts. And the DOJ Antitrust Division. Sure, they'd love to hear all about it. Yeah. These actions are in violations of various laws, which the defendant's violation of antitrust contribute to plaintiff losing money. Defendants are aware of these illegal activities. Instead of fining them in an amount that would deter that, which assumes they can, the fine and punishments actually motivate them to continue violating the law. If an institution commits an illegal act and profits $100 million, but they get caught, they only fine $1 million, why would they stop doing illegal activities? That is an outstanding question. Yeah. If they're going to make $100 million and the only penalty is $1 million, why wouldn't they do it? That's a great question. It sounds like a question that you should ask Congress. Or maybe the SEC, to the extent that they can regulate around this. Sounds like you have some really good policy arguments. A dark pool is an unlisted trade. Is that illegal? I mean, I wouldn't think so. I mean, what's to stop you from just trading directly with someone else? I mean, legally. I can't think of any reason. I mean, I wouldn't know for sure, but can you just trade stocks with a particular person outside the market? I mean, I would think so. They're your assets. If you don't want to put them on the market and you want to sell them to someone in particular, then I would assume you can do that. So the dark pools aren't sounding that scary. It seems okay. It's your thing. It's your thing. This is the rough equivalent of the flea market. You have some used stuff. You can go to the flea market and you can sell them, or you can sell them to your neighbor. I think that's probably okay. In fact, you can probably sell the shares at the flea market if you really wanted to. Just guessing. Yeah, it sounds fine. Robinhood was fined $70 million, but that amount of money they made shutting down trading and deceiving investors made that $70 million fine seem insignificant. Well, talk to SEC about regulating, talk to Congress. Robinhood even admitted in their IPO filing they would probably engage in the same kind of illegal conduct again. I'm pretty sure they didn't put it that way. How is the fine a detriment to future bad behavior? Yeah. For years, the hedge fund market makers and investment banks have called us dumb money while they steal our homes, retirement funds, and our children's future while the government turns a blind eye. We retail investors are tired of the corruption and abuse we have suffered at the hands of the so-called smart money. I wish to state clearly and for the record that when I first saw this, I thought it would be humorous and fun. And I wish to state for the record, I apologize and regret covering this case. I apologize to you because I've made you dumber. You know how the tagline to this thing is, we learn from the misfortunes of others? Not only have you not learned anything, you have gained negative information. You have actually gained negative information. The gaining of this negative information has literally made you stupider. I am sorry. And I'm also stupid. I'm also sorry for myself because I've also become stupider. I think that's what I felt in my brain earlier. I think I literally felt my IQ dropping. I think that's what it was. I think I literally felt my IQ dropping. And I regret this on every possible level. This isn't fun anymore. This is just I don't even have a vocab word. There's no word that describes the sensation I'm feeling. It's without meaning. Yeah. Yeah. It's not fun. It's just nihilistic. That's close. We'll go with nihilistic. Yeah. We have adopted the moniker of the apes. We have adopted this moniker. Who has? You have? Who adopted that moniker? We've adopted the moniker of the apes. We've adopted this moniker because we're unconventional and think outside the box. The AI algorithms that work to control the prior generation of retail investors has little effect on us. We retail investor apes are sick and tired of watching our hard-earned savings and our children's future stolen because of manipulation and corruption that has permeated the stock market for decades. Soul crushing is there. Yeah. We plan on taking control of our financial future. We will ensure that a fair and transparent market is the legacy we leave our children. Relief. The only relief I want at this point is several shots of alcohol. Maybe a harder drug at this point, to be quite honest. I want some alcohol and I want some mozzarella sticks. The plaintiff requests this honorable court grant plaintiff actual damages in the amount of $1.7 million for defendant's illegal actions plus punitive damages in the amount of $100 million to punish the defendants and ensure that they do not commit these illegal acts again in the future. The plaintiff requests this honorable court order the SEC, FNRA, and DTCC to issue fines, which I'm pretty sure they can't do. I'm pretty sure the court can't do that, to the illegal actors 10 times their gains from illegal activities under what authority of law to deter them from doing that in the future. This honorable court ordered defendants to submit to the courts the actual numbers of shares AMC and GME they are legally holding, that this honorable court, the SEC, DTCC, and FNRA to follow the rules that they put in place they appear to turn a blind eye to, and or Citadel LLCs, Citadel Securities, and Citadel Connect dismantle the monopoly they have on the stock market and whatever else the court finds fair and equitable. Respectfully submitted, Donahue, George. Well, normally along this point, I look for something intelligent to say, but under this situation, I'm not sure that's possible. Not for the least of reasons, I'm not sure at this point that I am intelligent. So, my recommendation, if you've gotten this far, my recommendation, maybe go lie on the bed and turn off all the lights and maybe a warm cloth over your eyes for a while, or maybe watch a program that you really like, maybe a comedy you really like, and see if that helps. Or something. Try to remember. I know this is going to be hard, but try to remember what gave you pleasure in the world. I know you don't remember right now. You have forgotten all the things that brought you pleasure, but maybe meditate on it and maybe you'll remember again. Maybe you'll remember one of the things that gave you pleasure before. And if you do remember it, maybe give it a try and see if that works. Maybe you'll have to ask someone. Do you remember the names of any of your loved ones or friends? If you do, or if you don't, maybe you could look in your phone and see your phone book and see if that prods your memory. And maybe call one of your friends or family and say, what do I like? What do I like to do? What makes me happy? And they can remind you. And go do that. That's my advice for today. I'm not even going to ask you to like the video or subscribe. Yeah. God bless you and Godspeed. Goodbye.